You just invested in a smart asset promising 300% returns? But what if I told you it's designed to steal your money? In 2023 alone, $4.3 billion vanished in smart scams. Stay here or risk becoming the next victim. Hi, welcome to Woice of Wealth. Today we're tearing apart the smart asset lie. These scams aren't just shady, they're dressed in suits, backed by fake tech, and endorsed by experts. By the end of this video, you'll spot their tricks before they drain your wallet. Number 1. The anatomy of a smart scam. Scammers aren't just criminals, they're master manipulators. They know exactly how to make you drop your guard, and they do it using a playbook that works over and over again. First, they bait you with an irresistible promise, something that sounds life-changing. Triple your money in just 90 days. They know greed can override logic, so they make the offer so tempting that people ignore the red flags. Once they have your attention, they build a false sense of credibility. They'll slap a featured in Forbes badge on their website, create fake success stories, and flood social media with glowing testimonials, all fabricated to make you believe they're the real deal. Then comes the pressure. They create urgency with lines like, "Only 10 VIP spots left," or "This offer expires in 24 hours. They don't want you to think. They want you to act fast because the moment you start asking questions or doing research, their entire scheme unravels. Take Crypto Future, for example. They claimed Elon Musk backed their AI trading bot. People believed it. Musk sued them. And that so-called AI, nothing more than a random number generator. The lesson? If it sounds like easy money, it's probably a trap. Stay sharp. Number 2, the jargon smoke screen. Ever heard a scam pitch that sounds impressive but makes zero sense? That's not by accident. Scammers love hiding behind complicated buzzwords to make their schemes seem legit. They'll throw around terms like quantum-resistant blockchain or neural network arbitrage, words designed to impress, not inform. But here's the truth. If they can't explain it in simple terms, they're probably lying. Real experts break things down so anyone can understand. Scammers? They use jargon to confuse you, not educate you. Take Neurocoin, for example. They claim to have AI-driven liquidity pools that would revolutionize trading. Sounded futuristic, right? Investors poured in $12 million. Turns out their so-called AI was just an intern manually copying stock prices from Yahoo Finance. The takeaway? Complexity doesn't equal credibility. If something sounds too high-tech to understand, ask for a simple explanation. If you get more buzzwords instead of clarity, walk away. Number 3, the fake regulatory shield. Scammers know one thing: people trust rules and regulations, so they pretend to follow them. They'll proudly claim, "We're fully compliant." But here's the catch. They exploit loopholes, twist words, and create an illusion of legitimacy. How? First, they flash fancy-looking licenses from places most people have never heard of. Tiny, unregulated islands like Vanuatu or St. Kitts. Looks official, means nothing. Then they slap together legal-sounding terms of service, often stolen from real financial firms, hoping no one reads the fine print. Look at SafeCap Investments. They waved around a Belize financial license to appear trustworthy. One problem: Belize doesn't regulate crypto. The result? Investors lost $47 million. Or consider OneCoin, one of the biggest crypto scams in history. They claimed to be the next Bitcoin and even held events at prestigious venues to look legitimate. But behind the scenes, there was no blockchain, no real trading, just an elaborate Ponzi scheme that stole $4 billion. Their secret weapon? A mix of fake legal documents, staged compliance, and aggressive marketing that made them seem too big to fail until they did. Then there's binary options fraud. Platforms like Bank to Binary operated out of shady jurisdictions, showing off meaningless certifications while running what was essentially a casino rigged against its users. They were finally shut down, but not before scamming people out of millions. Lesson here? Never take licensed at face value. Real protection comes from strict, well-known regulatory bodies like the SEC, FCA, or ASIC. Anything else? Just a smokescreen for a scam. And if an investment opportunity sounds too good to be true, but claims to be fully compliant, run. Because the biggest scams don't break the rules, they rewrite them in their favor. Number 4, the social proof illusion. People trust what they see online, so scammers manufacture hype. They flood social media with fake success stories, making their scam look like the next big thing. They pay influencers to say things like, "I made $50,000 in a week," without ever using the platform themselves. They unleash armies of bots to spam Telegram groups, Reddit threads, and YouTube comments with glowing reviews. It's all smoke and mirrors. Take Trade Genius, for example. A popular TikTok influencer hyped it up, claiming it was the future of investing. Later, she admitted she was paid $20,000 per post. And the platform? It collapsed within days, taking people's money with it. Or look at FTX. Celebrities, athletes, and YouTubers promoted it as the safest way to invest in crypto. Millions of users trusted it. Then overnight, it went bankrupt, revealing that behind the flashy sponsorships, it was nothing more than a Ponzi scheme. The influencers, they cashed their checks. The investors, they lost everything. Even traditional finance isn't immune. Wirecard, once a billion-dollar fintech company, faked its success for years, using staged media appearances and paid PR to appear legitimate. When auditors finally checked, they found a $2 billion hole in the books. The stock went to zero, and investors were left with nothing. The formula never changes: build hype, cash in, disappear. The more something feels like everyone's getting rich overnight, the more likely it's a trap. Bottom line, just because everyone's talking about it doesn't mean it's real. The biggest scams don't start in the shadows. They start in the spotlight. Always question the hype before it costs you. Number 5, the exit scam blueprint. This is how most scams end. They take the cash and run. One day, everything looks great. The website is live, social media is buzzing, and investors are seeing promising returns. The next, poof. Everything vanishes. Websites go offline, support emails bounce back, and the masterminds behind the operation are nowhere to be found. In the crypto world, this is called a rug pull. Developers hype up a project, inflate its value with aggressive marketing, and then drain all the money overnight. Some scams are quick hits, disappearing within days, while others play the long game, keeping investors hooked with excuses like, "We're just doing maintenance. We'll be back soon." They post reassuring updates, delay withdrawals, and even launch fake partnerships to maintain the illusion of legitimacy. Spoiler, they never come back. Remember Squid Token? Riding the hype of Squid Game, it skyrocketed 23,000% in value. Investors believed they had struck gold until the developers yanked $3.3 million and disappeared. The token, instantly worthless. It's a classic example of how scammers exploit FOMO, making people believe they're getting in on the next big thing, while the real winners are already planning their getaway. The lesson? If something is built purely on hype and urgency, it's probably a ticking time bomb. Real investments don't need countdown timers, celebrity endorsements, or vague promises of game-changing technology. If you find yourself in a project where the only thing holding it up is speculation, get out before the fuse burns out, because when it does, the only thing left will be regret. Number 6, the recruitment red flag. If a company cares more about you recruiting others than actually selling a product, congratulations, you've just walked into a pyramid scheme. These scams thrive on hype, making you believe that you're stepping into an exclusive opportunity where the real money is made at the top. They disguise their true nature with flashy marketing, promising financial freedom through passive income. They dress it up with phrases like earn 10% commissions on every referral, or build your downline and watch the money roll in. But here's the ugly truth. These schemes only survive as long as new people keep pouring money in. The moment recruitment slows down, the whole thing collapses. And guess who loses? The last ones in. The people who believed they were building a future when, in reality, they were just funding payouts for those who got in earlier. Take Prosperity Chain, for example. They lured people in with promises of 1% daily returns, plus juicy referral bonuses. Sounded like a dream, until the SEC stepped in and exposed it as a $300 million Ponzi scheme. The so-called investors weren't making money from any real business or product. They were just passing money around in a financial game of musical chairs. And when the music stopped, thousands of people lost their life savings. Bottom line, if your paycheck depends on bringing in new people instead of selling a real product or service, run. You're not investing. You're feeding a scam. Real businesses generate revenue through products, services, or investments, not endless recruitment. If someone pitches you an opportunity where signing up friends is the key to success, remember this: you're not climbing a ladder, you're standing on a trapdoor. Number 7, the fake team facade. Scammers know that people trust credentials, so they don't just fake products. They create entire teams out of thin air. Fake CEOs, fake advisors, fake success stories, all designed to make their scam look like a legitimate, well-established operation. They understand that a polished website and an impressive leadership team can make people lower their guard. Here's how they do it. They grab stock photos, slap prestigious titles on them, and build fake LinkedIn profiles filled with buzzwords. Meet our CTO, a Stanford AI expert with 15 years in blockchain. Sounds impressive until you do a reverse image search and realize their so-called tech genius is actually a German model from Instagram. Sometimes they even steal the identities of real professionals, copying their resumes and credentials to add another layer of deception. By the time victims catch on, the scammers have already cashed out and disappeared. MetaFund is a prime example of how deep these scams can go. Investors believed they were backing an elite team of finance and tech experts, but when authorities investigated, they found that the entire leadership team was fictional. The so-called CEO had no recorded history of ever working in finance, and the chief investment officer was just a random face pulled from a free stock image site. The entire operation was a facade, and the people behind it walked away with millions before anyone could stop them. So how do you protect yourself? Always verify who you're dealing with. Run a reverse image search on their profile photos. Check their credentials on official sites like LinkedIn, FINRA's broker check, or corporate registration databases. Look for interviews, articles, or any independent references to their work. If their top executives vanish under a Google search, your money will too. Number 8, the phantom track record. Scammers know that numbers sell, so they don't just lie, they manufacture success. They flash charts, profit statements, and trading histories that make them look like financial wizards. But the reality is that most of it is completely fake. They'll post screenshots showing 500% gains in just a week, or claim they've never had a losing trade. It sounds impressive until you ask the one question they can't answer. Can I see real-time audited results? That's when the excuses start. Suddenly, their broker account is private, or they can't share client details. It's all smoke and mirrors. Scammers have become more sophisticated in their deception. Some use Photoshop to doctor account balances, while others exploit demo accounts, where they can place risk-free trades and showcase only the winning ones. The most deceptive ones manipulate trading platforms like MT4 and MT5 to fabricate completely fake trading histories. Take Wolf of Trading, for example. They convince people to invest by flaunting insane profit screenshots. But when investigators took a closer look, they discovered that the trades never even happened. It was pure Photoshop magic. The scam ran for months, raking in millions before disappearing overnight. To spot these lies, always verify their claims. Reverse search their images to see if they're using the same profit screenshots as other so-called gurus. Ask them to show their live portfolio in real time. Legitimate traders have no problem proving their results. And most importantly, check third-party verification sites like MyFXBook, FINRA's broker check, or official financial audits. If they're not listed anywhere reputable, chances are they're a fraud. The takeaway? Never trust flashy numbers without proof. If someone can't back up their claims with real, verifiable records, it's a scam, period. Number 9, the pressure playbook. Scammers don't want you to think. They want you to panic. That's why they hit you with lines like, "Act fast," "This deal won't last," or "Only a few spots left." The goal? To make you feel like if you don't invest right now, you'll miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Here's the truth. Real investments don't come with countdown timers. If someone is rushing you, it's because they don't want you to look too closely. Take that so-called real estate AI fund. Investors were given just 12 hours to wire their money or lose out on massive returns. Sounds exclusive, right? Turns out the prime investment property was nothing more than a deserted parking lot in Nevada, owned by the scammer's cousin. And it's not just real estate. The same trick happens across every industry. Crypto rug pulls promise that only early investors get rich. But once enough people buy in, the founders drain the funds and disappear. Penny stock scams push fake insider tips with urgent calls to buy before a major announcement, except the stock crashes right after they sell. Fake coaching programs claim to have limited seats for their exclusive mentorship, but those spots magically never run out as long as you're willing to pay. The rush is always the scam. Legitimate opportunities allow due diligence. Real investors study deals. They don't gamble based on FOMO. So next time someone tries to pressure you into a fast decision, remember, smart money doesn't move in a panic. It moves with precision. If you feel rushed, step back, because the only thing you're actually missing out on is getting scammed. Number 10, your survival toolkit. Scammers are getting more sophisticated, but you don't have to be their next victim. The first rule? Check the receipts. If a company claims to be licensed, don't just take their word for it. Look them up on official sites like the SEC, FCA, or your country's financial regulatory body. No record? Walk away. Second, do your homework. Google the names of their so-called experts along with the word scam and see what pops up. If their past is full of shady deals or complaints, you've got your answer. Even better, check Reddit, Trustpilot, and Better Business Bureau reviews. Real victims leave real warnings. Now let's talk about the hype. If an investment is blowing up on TikTok, Instagram, or being pushed by influencers, be extra skeptical. Scammers thrive on trends, using flashy videos and fake testimonials to lure people in. Ever notice how these hot investments always have perfect success stories, but zero verifiable proof? That's because they manufacture the hype, not the profits. Take the crypto scam that promised guaranteed 500% returns. Every influencer was promoting it, showing screenshots of their earnings. Turns out the whole thing was just a Ponzi scheme, and the people who bought in late, they lost everything. And finally, trust but verify. Even Warren Buffett doesn't blindly trust investments. He demands third-party audits. If someone refuses to show real, verifiable proof, bank records, ownership documents, audited reports, they're hiding something. And when someone is hiding something in finance, it's never good for your wallet. At the end of the day, a little skepticism can save you a fortune. Scammers don't get caught because people are dumb. They get away with it because people trust too easily. Stay sharp, ask the right questions, and never let FOMO make your financial decisions. Let's cut through the noise. Scammers win when we stay quiet. But you're not just another target. You're the shield. Every time you report a scam, expose it on Reddit, or share this video, you're not just protecting yourself. You're saving someone's retirement, someone's college savings, someone's future. These scams don't just steal money. They prey on hope. And the only way to fight back? Sharp instincts and a healthy dose of skepticism. Question everything, verify everything, and never fall for the get-rich-quick lie. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to push this to more people who need to hear it. Subscribe and turn on notifications because knowledge is power, and you're about to get stronger. Share this with one person you care about. Tag them in the comments. Let's build a community that scammers can't fool. Stay smart, stay safe, and remember, real success isn't overnight. It's built on smart decisions. See you in the next video.